She hit the line on the far side, and the Rebels win.
Stop bleeding! Stop bleeding!
He connects! Rebels with their first lead of the night.
And the Andover Huskies are your section champion.
Joined along on the flank with the cameras just below is Noel Fitzpatrick and Damian Andrzejak, and back at the studio we have Ryan, Mike, and also Andy. Thanks for joining us, and this is going to be one competitive contest as both of these teams made it to the state last year, the quarterfinals. They won their section championships and advanced on. They were both knocked off in that first round. For Andover, they were defeated by Prior Lake, who went on to win the state championship. And meanwhile, it was a loss to Rosemont for Maple Grove. In that it was Maple Grove who lost one of their top scorers and their goalie from last season, but Haley Karate has done a great job of getting his team prepped and ready, and now have a 4-run record after a convincing 15-2 win over Totino Grace just on Wednesday. Meanwhile, for the Huskies, they come in with a mark of 6-1. Their most recent game was an impressive win last Wednesday here at Andover, a 7-6 win over Champlain Park, a game that they actually had trailed at 3-0 in that first half, but showed some resilience and came back to get at it. So meanwhile, the Huskies, as I mentioned, 6-1. They have outscored their opponents 82-31 for Maple Grove. They've outscored opponents 74 goals to 33. We're getting ready for that face-off right at midfield. Nelson will take the draw. She certainly one of the strong players here for the Huskies, and the draw here is still getting controlled, now settled by Maple Grove. Maple Grove in the dark uniforms. That is the Crimson, and it's taken away there by Sarah Kaiser. Kaiser with a turnover opportunity here, trying to work it on transition. Moving it down low, trying to hit a cutter down along the baseline there. It's picked up and turned away there by the goalie, and Emma Crater. For Crater, she comes in with a record of 4-1, the goalie for Maple Grove, and a goals against of 6.80. Crimson on transition now, turns, fires, tries to find someone on the cut. That was key. Dropping it back, moving it in now, and sets around the perimeter at the 15. Just around the 15-meter setup here, and the Huskies, meanwhile, in goal will be Eva Bach. Eva Bach faced 16 shots against Champlain Park, made all but 6 of those and saves, and comes into the record of 6-1 and a goals against of 5.07. It's a save percentage of about 700. Pretty impressive. When it comes to lacrosse, a quick spin move inside, a cut, and then it's deflected and moved out of the cradle that time of the Crimson player on the quick spin move. Working back the other way, trying to take it the distance on that far side on the wing, now making the run. Impressive. Here comes the Huskies on the quick transition back. They'll set up. Trying to work in that X position now. You'll see the Huskies on that backside. Looking it up, trying to hit a cutter. That's Nelson. Nelson with 2 goals and 3 assists in the win over Champlain Park, as it knocked free from her stick, and they will have a whistle and an opportunity here for Nelson, I believe, on a... It will be an opportunity here for a free run as she gets ready. Moves it, shot just off the mark. Started that from the 12-meter mark and just missed the net altogether, but corralling that ball for the Huskies as they try to move it now back behind. And of course, Brad Geis said we got to keep movement and activity on that pace in our offense. A quick fire and a save is made right to the midsection, and a save is made on Mike Crater after the nice shot made by the Huskies. Transition time now. Back the other way. Here comes Crimson trying to answer. A spin move around the 8 shot, and that's secured. And a nice save there by Bach. Had everything moving in the right direction. A good outlet pass ahead. Sets it ahead to Kaiser. Kaiser had two critical face-offs, some key draws that she won late in that game against Champlain Park, including the last one after the Huskies had scored the game-winning goal with about 2.5 minutes left. There was work to be done yet, then Kaiser went at it and took the draw and won it. That was a critical control there for the Huskies. Kaiser now takes it back behind the net to the X position. Just underway at Andover High School as the Huskies come in with that mark of 6-1 and the Crimson with 4-1. Moving it now, rotating it through. You can see some cutters happening at the 8-shot goal. Beautiful pass. Assist will go to Kaiser.
On a great pass from Sarah Kaiser, finishing 80 up for the Huskies, 1-0.
We get a look there, good. You could see the rotation and the movement up top, out in front of the goal by Andover. And finally, they caught it. Nice, crisp, clean pass from Kaiser. And there you go. Kind of a catch and release there, and the Huskies jump out front. Who scored that one? I couldn't tell from that video. Katie Evans will get credit for the goal. She had one also on Wednesday. And again, the assist goes to Kaiser, and Andover jumps out to that 1-0 lead. For Evans, that is goal number 7 on the season. Huskies have had 2 shutouts this season. Most recent one was with Blaine. So here comes Maple Grove trying to reciprocate. As they pull up, it pops out of the stick out the forward there for one of the attackers for Maple Grove. They pick it up on the ground ball possession. Good play. They have some youth up front. Number 35, Sosie Van Wyck, the leading scorer with, well, she has 17 second on the team, 17. Meanwhile, she's a freshman. Possession there, controlled save, and under control is Bach. Nice play so far. It's been one and done for the Crimson. Versus the Rebels, you had a chance to see them sustain possession by getting to those rebounds and ground balls and scooping it up and holding possession at sometimes for almost 3.5 minutes. Huskies trying to counter back now. They'll set it back around the perimeter. Out to the wing, now working it and circulating it back up top. Below there. Making the move, a quicker, it's out to the side. There's Kaiser. Kaiser maneuvers behind, now to the side, trying to hit on the run there, and could not get that to connect. And now they settle up again. So 19:20 to go here in the first half. Andover jumps out to a 1-0 lead. These two teams met once last year. The result was a Maple Grove win. But again, both teams went on to win their sections and advance to the quarterfinals of the state tournament. Huskies reset. Now on the move, a quick dart move, pulling the trigger, a shot save, and that's a point-blank shot save there by, once again, Crater. Crater with a save percentage of about 51%. She has seen about 4 shots already, now down low, unable to control, and the Huskies defensively come away with that. Possession of the ball, and now a quick outlet from Bach. Bach moving it up. Chance on the run here. Now setting up on the wing. Stop, pop, shot, bouncer, and misses the net. Just unable to connect that time. Andover, just a miscue on that bounce. Possession will go to Andover. They'll pick it up, and that's Kaiser moving from the axe position. Tries to feed a shot to Lickfelt that time over the top of the net. A quick one-timer on the release. Lickfelt as well with the goal on Wednesday night in the Huskies win. Kaiser sets up one more time. Huskies with the possession. Early in the first half, there's a low shot and a goal. Scored once again for Andover. Kept that one low. They tried to go up top. Tried to go upper 90, and this time they went low, and Delage will get credit for that goal. Merrill Delage picks up her 8th goal of the season. And I'll tell you, the Huskies are just loving the weather, loving the field, and loving this game so far. So just with 17:46 to go here in this first half, Andover, as you can see, has just taken it on a beautiful pass again by Kaiser. Kaiser's got some pinpoint accuracy with that passing. Huskies able to control it, no bobble. And it's almost like a one-time shot on that to Merrill Delage. Again, Delage with her 8th goal of the season. Kaiser with her 2nd assist already here tonight. Andover jumps out 2-0 and holds possession here as they move down the far side. Near along the wing, and Andover moves it back around. Setting up near side, it looks like Evans. Evans had the first goal. Missing on that pass, but Kaiser. Was it Kaiser? No, it was not. Huskies could not get that possession, so I will turn it over here to the Crimson. Crater this time, a short pass, but a nice job of regaining control of all of the turf here. Now who picks up that ground ball? The ground ball now lifted high in the air and then on the run picked up by Maple Grove. Looking to move it up ahead to a midfielder. Defensively, they're trying to move down the near side of the field here and then run a burst here. Moves off the stick. Nice play there. Good forced turnover that time by Andover. Here comes Claire Nelson. Nelson moves along and then a burst of speed, gets a look, pulls back to close the gap. Now tries to feed a cutting teammate just behind on a drop pass. Unable to control, ground ball picked up by Crater, the goalie, and that will leave an outlet here for the Crimson. Crimson a 15-2 win over Totino Grace on Wednesday. Setting it up there is Isaacson, and then dropping it back near on the near side of the field. Madison Sukup, and now down below in that exposition is Crimson. Again, the Crimson are led by head coach Haley Karate. Karate played at the University of Minnesota. Been part of the coaching staff since, I think it was since 2011 with Maple Grove. Took over in 2015 as the head coach. Still working it outside the perimeter. Here is Isaacson. Sends it across to her teammate. Still just at about the 15 now. Drop pass and they'll reset. Huskies doing a great job of setting that defensive scheme and holding their own. Moving it to the side. Now you can get a look here. Maple Grove trying to move some easy cuts here and trying to make some things happen. Offensively, they finally get it in motion. A low shot off the turf high into the air and back down below, controlled by the Crimson behind the net. Here's a chance on a ground ball. If they can capitalize here, they do. Here come the Huskies on the run, and then they're tackled and brought down. Huskies will maintain and regain possession of the ball. They have it here on the run to Claire Nelson. Nelson just misses on an elevated pass that time. Look to connect that time with Lizzie Shruby. Shruby, by the way, last night with the, not quite the walk-off winner, but the game winner with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to take a 7-6 win over the Rebels. We've got another foul and a whistle here called on Maple Grove. Timeout had been called here by head coach Brad Geis. Geis led the team to the quarterfinals of the state tournament last year. They ran into the best team far and away in the state, and that was in Prior Lake. So we are set here, and Thanks for joining us on this QCTV Friday Night Lights. As I mentioned, it was Prior Lake who defeated Lakeville in the state championship last year. But this year you can see the level of play kicking up. One item, hey, to kind of always keep in mind is teams and the records and how quickly this season is moving, really. The season's moving extremely fast already. We're well beyond the midway mark. And meanwhile, thus far, for the Maple Grove squad, they've had a 20-5 win over OPC. Osseo Park Center, they had a 17-5 win over Spring Lake Park and a 15-13 win over Centennial. And then a 15-2 win over Totino Grace. Now, their own loss came to Elk River. That was an 8-6 loss. And ironic enough, they played Andover tough as well this season. It's a very physical team. Andover held on for a 4-2 win versus Elk River. The lone loss for Andover this season has come to Eden Prairie. And in that game, Coach Brad Geist said, hey, we played them very even that second half. Just got hit hard right out of the gate and a little slow to get the start going, and you can't afford to have that type of play against Eden Prairie. Timeout is back, and we are through, and they're ready to set it. It's a 2-0 lead for the Huskies. Thanks for joining us on this. A splendid evening, 72 and sunny. Huskies will take possession after the whistle. The foul called there on Maple Grove. So, toss back in. That's Shruby who sends it down, running it to the corner. Andover now trying to set up. Maple Grove kind of looking to go man-to-man right now defensively. Sets it up, and the Huskies are going to try to rotate. In down below, and they certainly have a lot of success when they have some motion. And you saw that in the second half of Wednesday's game. A lot of cutters. And here's a move inside the goal. Nelson's first goal of the game. I'll say that because she's been averaging about 3 goals a game. She gets her first here tonight. And that will put the Huskies up 3-0. 13:28 to go, and Nelson picks up her 18th goal of the season.
Entering the game for the Huskies, number 37, Jaden Wilson. Also in for the Huskies, number 27, Mallory Aldine.
Aldine answers now, and Jaden Wilson also in. Mallory Aldine, number 27, and Jaden Wilson, number 37. Huskies jump out. We'll see if they issue an assist. It was Nelson who brought that from behind the net. With a burst of speed, brought that back out in front and snapped one off. A snipe shot, top shelf, put it with a peanut butter. And it is 3-0 Andover. They'll reset here on this duel. Faceoff will set up once again. The draw, center field off the bounce, controlled by Maple Grove, far side of the field. Down low now to the corner, now trying to work it back. Crimson looking for cutters and trying to set up that offense. An offense for the Crimson that have tallied 74 goals this season. Trying the quick burst move there and cut back out again. Inside, look at one-timer, shot and a save, obstructed enough there by Bach. She got enough of a stick on it to make that save, at least deflect it and diffuse the scoring opportunity. And now here they come again. Andover on the transition. Deflected, turnover, and it's picked up by Maple Grove, and the Huskies try to bracket the Crimson player, and there's a whistle. Looks like there may be an injury. And speaking of which, the Huskies waiting to get an MRI back from the injury last night to one of their top players, Emma Tammy, who took a hard fall in that first half. But we hope that she's doing all right. And we hear the Husky player that is down is being attended to.
If you can hear me, Joe, we're going to bring up rankings.
Taking a look now, here's at the girls' rankings, state rankings. Thanks a lot for bringing that. That's Prior Lake back on top again currently in the state after winning last year's state championship. And then it's Chanhassen followed by Lakeville South. Lakeville South is currently 3-1 on the season, and then it's followed by Rosemount, Benilde St. Margaret, Edina, Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie, a squad that the Huskies have their lone loss to, followed by Blank, Two Rivers, Gentry Academy, and Stillwater. Rounds out the top 10. The rankings for this week. Thanks for bringing those up, team. And player coming off here. They try to take a look at maybe Kara Stay. It is. She walks to the bench once she gets to the sideline under her own power, so looks to be just fine. Okay, well, better anyway. So let's back to the possession here for the Crimson. They trail 3-0. We are about midway through this first half. Coming to you from the Andover Athletic Field. And vice-turning it through to Sarah Kaiser. Active, very active, and had to maneuver and navigate through a couple of the Crimson players before they whistled a foul. On Crimson now, full pure speed coming down. The future McHenry University lacrosse player, Sarah Kaiser, works it now back behind the net. Nelson is also there to help out. Kaiser with 2 assists already here in the first half. As now you start to see some motion up top by the Huskies. A couple of cutters. A late move now around and trying to get to a spot to pull the trigger on the shot. Kaiser's denied. Turns right back out. Nice defensive play there by Crimson. There's a cutter. Shot. Lickfeld scores. 3rd assist already for Kaiser and Lickfeld. Scores that goal. And for Lickfeld, she had one last night. She picks up another. And Lickfeld has her 8th of the season. Beautiful setup. Good read, as you can see here. A good kind of a delayed cut. She had several other players motioning in front and making those cuts, but then she came in later. And Kaiser tried to make her own move initially. Was turned away. Didn't give up. Got back to her spot and then fired a dime that time to Lickfeld. In fact, all 3 passes by Kaisers have been dime. Here we go on the control. Nice job by the Huskies to control. Moving it up and down. I believe that's Katie Evans who was on that draw. Evans on the season is 2nd on the team in the draw controls with now 16. Nelson tries to hit. One-timer, scores again. Nice setup. This time the assist will go to Nelson. But the Huskies are owning each possession. Boy, they are distributing dimes. Just some sharp passing, clean passing game, cradle to cradle, and they'll snap one up. Maple Grove is going to take a timeout as they now trail 5-0 with 10:55 to go in this first half. Let's get another look here as Nelson faked it out wide. Then she found the Husky cutter, and that goes to number 35, Eden Lensmeyer. Lensmeyer picks up goal number 9 on the season. She had a quiet but good game against Champlain Park, where she had picked up 3 key ground balls And also a series of some good shots on goal as well. So, Huskies got to like the way they're starting this up. Huskies have put together 2 wins in a row. They had a 16-0 rout versus Blaine. That was their second shutout of the season. The first shutout came against Tino Grace. That was an 18-0 shutout. Meanwhile, they've defeated Centennial, also Spring Lake Park, 19-1, and Elk River Zimmerman. That was a tough game. I had talked to Coach Brad Geis before the game about that conservative score, and he's like, Joe, that was such a cold game. Right at the beginning of the season, Elk River plays a physical game. A very good team, very athletic team, but also very physical. So he said, we were certainly challenged coming out of the gate. And since that time, they have put together 6 or 5 additional wins. Again, a lone loss for the Huskies was a 15-9 loss to Eden Prairie. A wealth and depth of scoring already here in the first half for Andover, and you can see that they're getting a wealth of contributors in terms of scoring. Evans picked up that first goal of the game for the Huskies. The last couple have come from Lickfelt, Lensmeyer, and then also before that it was Nelson. I'm going to guess that Nelson will probably get credited with an assist. I believe she has 2 already, assists and a goal. So let's see what the Crimson can do. And head coach Haley Karate, as they try to regroup and spark some sort of momentum. As the Huskies learned last night, they were at a 3-0 deficit to Champlain Park. A yellow card now has been issued.
Yellow card against
That was a foul there against Claire Nelson. Some frustration and a yellow. So number 15 will take a seat for the next 2 minutes. Danny Key. Key had a couple of goals and a couple of assists in the win over to Tino Grace on Wednesday, but she'll take a knee for the time being. Nelson, full burst of speed coming down the near sideline. Finding a hole, she wants to, determined to pull the trigger on a shot or at least get a pass off, as she is not bracketed by 2 but by 3 players, just to try to disrupt any of that progress. So whistled for the yellow card again has been Danny Key. One of just a couple of seniors on this Crimson squad. Waiting for the whistle, and we're underway. There's Kaiser. The near wing now trying to set up the offense. She's in motion. Runs by, now trying to get the big. Evans was trying to set kind of a subtle rub there. Shots and fire to goal for Kaiser. Well, Kaiser deserves that. She's dished out a lot of dimes already this season. And she was out for 3 games earlier this year with an injury, but it's good to see her running full throttle and creating a scoring opportunity and a score there for the Huskies, and they now go up 6-0. She comes around from behind the X position and then fires it, beating Emma Crater. And now a 6-0 lead. You can see that goal, and impressive footwork. She looked to dish, looked to dime, couldn't find it, and did find the back of the net. Impressive thing. Kaiser, a year ago, ended up with 37 goals. And again, it feels like a shortened season here this season, but with the weather. And she was out for a few games with an injury. But for Kaiser, that'll be goal number 3 on the season. She already has 3 assists tonight. Stoppage of play here as they things set, and now we're ready. Back in play now. Still moving the perimeter, now making a quick cut, trying to pull the trigger on the shot, disrupted, and a forced turnover there by Andover. Crimson unable to finally just even get that shot off. Huskies running it back on the run, far side. Now down low, they do not want to give up the momentum they've so earned. They take it to the corner. A couple of players chasing the Huskies there, just trailing. Out of the cradle and losing possession, and they're going to give possession back to Maple Grove here on that turnover. 8.5 remaining. First half, it's a 6-0 lead for the Huskies. Near side of the field, this pass up on the one hop, controlled now by the Crimson. Crimson will work it down near side. Good pass, moving it up into a spot here, and that's Isaacson. Isaacson down low, shot going low, scores. Good strategy, good cut. And snapping that one under the garage door. On to Crimson. And they take that first goal of the game and hope they can stymie that momentum and get some flow going here. Goal was scored by number 28, Ella Olsen. There you can see her coming from behind Isaacson with the feed. Olsen finishes. Ella Olsen, the junior, picks up her 14th goal of the season. For Isaacson, that is her 4th assist. The Crimson now have cut into the deficit. 6-1, taking the draw is Olsen. For the Crimson. Taking the draw, looks like it was Lensmeyer for Andover. Possession now awarded. Crimson trying to move in. A goal has got to be to at least cut this deficit in half if you're Maple Grove before the end of this first half, of which there's 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Working it down low, and there's a cutter in the middle, turns, fired, nicely deflected there by Bach. Disrupts that scoring opportunity. Maple Grove a lot more active offensively than they were on previous possessions. A whistle here, and foul whistle here on Andover, as they're still having a discussion about it. And ready now here is Maple Grove. They trail by 5, just under 7. There's a hard shot, easily handled. Boy, did Eva Bach make that look like a very casual, confident save there. She stymied him. Into the right now, here comes Nelson once again. Nelson tries to feed it up high, down below. Saw Kaiser disrupted there. She was either looking for Lickfeld or Kaiser. Nelson with a burst move now from that X position. Cuts back out in front, fires, score, top shelf again. She did not get picked up. Just kind of breezed by the defense. Maybe there was a lack of communication, but she's got her second goal of the game already. And the Huskies are back up to a 6-goal lead, 7-1 with 6:20 to go. And thus the first half. Nelson made that look easy. That speed she has and the elusiveness. She found a gap, and no one came up to pick her up defensively. They get at it here. Face off here, controlled. Olsen has it. Olsen moves down after controlling it. high pass there, and boy, Bach had her stick in the right spot. Looked like she was trying to pass it to a teammate just in front of Bach, but it went just over her teammate stick and right into Bach, who makes another great save. She has been sharp tonight, Eva Bach, a junior. Huskies are sitting a couple of those starters, just kind of letting them regroup. One of those would be Claire Nelson. Now down below, they're trying to find Cutter up top, working at the near side. Setting it up. Maple Grove trying to guide the Huskies. And trying to pick it up and maybe try to cause a little bit more pressure. They're going to call the foul there and the delayed set back in play. Lickfield has it knocked from her stick as she tried to make a cut, trying to gather up the ground ball again was the Crimson, and a whistle here, and Lickfield I think is going to be whistled for the foul. At Maple Grove, a pass behind the defender out of their own end sends it back to their goalie, Emma Crater. Crater is a junior. And now here they come full throttle. Here comes a rush upfield by Crimson. The Crimson look to center. No one there. Now they set up at the X position. 4 minutes, 25 seconds to go here in this first half. Thanks for joining us on this QCTV Friday Night Lights Girls High School Lacrosse. The Huskies come in with a record of 6-1, taking on Maple Grove Crimson. A spin move here by Olsen. Tries to go low and gets it. Snapped that one under the garage door. An elusive spin move that time by Olsen, and Olsen has her second goal of the game.
7-2.
That is also her 15th goal of the season. She's averaging 2 goals a game. And if you're a Husky fan, let's hope she's hit her limit. So back to now a 5-goal deficit for the Crimson with 4:09 to go here in the first half. You could see that good spin move. It all started because Olsen also won that draw at center field. At midfield here, now it's controlled by Kaiser. She'll send it back down and pick up to Lickfield. Lickfield picks up that ground ball. Drop pass there to Claire Nelson. She states, kind of has a delayed move, a freeze to defense, and cuts over. Pulls the trigger and a shot and scores. Oh, Maple Grove tried to really obstruct it and almost get in her way in basketball. They may have called interference on that, but she ran over the Maple Grove defender and then snapped off another snipe that time. Her third goal of this first half for Claire Nelson, a hat trick. And she has given the Huskies that 6-point lead again. A score now of 8-2. For Nelson, goal 20 on the season. They have brought some fire, some speed, and also they can play physical with anyone. And I'll tell you, it was a great play, especially after they kind of forced her inside, but no one disrupted her progress. And now picking up another ground ball, Kaiser. After the face-off, Kaiser moves it down low into the corner. Kaiser looking and being steered to the corner. Sets it back to Nelson. Nelson looks across the way, eludes a high stick, and brings it back. Yep, they finally call that, and she'll send a defender for the Crimson behind. Nelson hits a trailing player there to the corner, unable to connect. Back behind, the whistle called again, the foul on Crimson. Huskies now waiting for the official to start play again. Nelson looks across, looking for a teammate. Now it's going down low. It's deflected on the ground, trying to control and settle it. Now it's on the stick and in the Netting there of Nelson. She goes to the right. Puts on a little speed. Backs up. Shot off. And a good pass to felt just wide of the mark. The Huskies will they give them possession here? They will. Well, they will. Back behind. Huskies, again, trying to get their biggest lead of the game here before the half. 2 and change remaining here in the first half. Spinning away. And still with possession, Kaiser. Sarah Kaiser, she has a goal and 3 assists here in the first half. Nelson, 3 goals and an assist.
2 minutes.
Nelson back behind, surveying out in front. Who can she hit as a cutter? She'll take it herself. Shot, goal. Nelson, 4th goal, Quattro. Claire Nelson, wow, she's putting on a clinic this evening against Maple Grove, and the Huskies have their largest lead of this contest at 9-2, a 7-goal lead for the Huskies. They have come out to play like they were shot out of a cannon. Some good burst moves, good rotation and movement in front. When you're reacting like that as a team, it just burns so much more energy. When you're chasing and reacting, that takes a lot out of you, and we're seeing that here in the first half from the Crimson as they trail 9-2 with 1:50 to go in this first half. On the draw, controlled there, and now it looked like it was Delich who was on that draw, but Maple Grove controlled momentarily, and what's new, Kaiser picks up another ground ball, trying to swat at her from the back. Whistle there, and Maple Grove will be whistled for that as a harsh-looking swat, and it isn't. I mean, in hockey that'd be called a slash, and that's what she gets called for here. And that's a yellow. So they draw a yellow. They'll be down another player. Second yellow of the game here for Maple Grove. Near side of the field. 1:20 to go. Huskies trying to make it double digits in terms of goals in this first half. A drop pass just a little too far for Nelson. Nelson scoops it back, trying to control that ground ball, both Crimson and Andover. Finally, it's scooped up there and collected. And that's by number 12, and Aaron Walsh. So we're getting set. Lickfield is on the side, still on the knee in the corner. The sideline for Maple Grove, whistled for the yellow is Key. Drop back behind, next position now, set for the Huskies from behind. Nelson looks left, goes right, looks for the cutter out front. Just missing on that connection. It bounces right to the cradle and controlled there by Maple Grove. 25 seconds remaining in this first half, and this has been all Andover, early and often. 15 seconds remaining, a long stretch pass ahead for the Crimson. They want to make one more run at a chance at Bach here, and a whistle. A whistle occurs with 9.4 seconds to go. A yellow card whistled there. That'll go to Kaiser. What's left here will roll over into that second half of the yellow card just given to Sarah Kaiser. Still waiting out a yellow card as well for Maple Grove is number 15 and Key. Back in play. See if they can snap a shot here. Here's a shot. Backhand scores. They do. They capitalize it and punch it up. With 2 seconds left here in the first half, we hear from the Crimson, and they cut the deficit to 6. Barring a miracle here, the Huskies appeared to be pretty confident they could take a 9-3 lead into the half. I think if you asked Brad Geis if you could have a 6-goal lead at half against Maple Grove, you'd say, yeah, I really think we'd be happy with that. So here comes final draw here of the first half at midfield. And this is really just a 72-degree Friday night. Just a great experience here at Andover High School. Thanks everyone for joining us as they get ready to make this drop. And it's under control. Olsen has it, and we have completed the first half of girls high school lacrosse from the Andover Athletic Field on this QCTV Friday Night Lights. It is a 9-3 lead for Andover over the Crimson as we meet and come to the midway mark of this contest. We're going to send it to the studio, and in return for the second half, Ryan, Andy, and Mike have control back in the studio. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back for the second half in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Mother Earth. Did you know that items like napkins, tea bags, and orange peels can be organically recycled? In addition, you can also recycle
food scraps like fruit and vegetables, meat, fish and bones, baked goods, eggshells, dairy products, and even coffee grounds. Also, food-soiled paper, including pizza boxes and paper egg cartons. For more information on organic recycling, check with your city to sign up.
Welcome to At the Half, the show where we take a closer look at some of our area high school sports. I'm your host, Mary Killikai. As the snow melts and the sunny days return, the Anoka boys tennis team heads back to the courts. Head coach Eric Bertram hopes his team experiences more than just wins and losses.
We lost 7 seniors from last year, so that's a lot to fill. And it's really cool because the group this year is coming together and figuring it out. Players are playing wherever they need to play, and they are embracing it. And it's not always the easiest or most fun, but you know, we're working hard and playing hard, and we got a couple wins this weekend, which was really cool. A lot of first varsity wins. So.
Yeah, we lost a lot of seniors. I think us 3 are the only returning varsity members this year, so we have a lot of young kids, a lot of new fresh faces.
Yeah, it's been, it started off a little weak, but we've grown and we've progressed as a team, and I think we're going to play really good this year.
My whole family kind of played tennis, and my brother was in it at the high school, so I decided to join. It's like a team sport, but you get to play a ton to get that one-on-one time.
This team in particular is just an amazing group of student athletes that really have each other's back. They show kindness, they show toughness, and they show everything that we want them to be working on within themselves going forward after tennis. And hopefully they play it the rest of their life, but this is a special team from that dynamic. I don't know how many wins and but from just how they treat each other and treat their opponents and how hard they work. This is a really special group this year.
It's a big mental battle to play, and when you have teammates there, you can rely on them when you're playing and when you're in your match, but also you got to play on your own.
It just kind of develops.
Yeah.
I think we're all just trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, work with what we have, play our best matches.
So I'm an English teacher, and Maya Angelou, you know, amazing American poet. I want to say she had a quote, something like, you'll forget, you know, sometimes what you did with people or what people said, but you rarely will forget how they made you feel. And that goes for how you treat your opponents and your team and coaches and opposing you know. But those are the things that kind of transcend the sport, that make it accessible to their futures. So that's what I love about coaching tennis and just coaching in general.
As part of the recent Anoka Hennepin Schools expansion efforts, Champlin Park was able to upgrade and expand their athletic facilities. We talked with their activities director, Matt Matson, about their new digs.
This goes back probably 6-7 years ago. We started a 10-year plan for our softball and baseball fields here at Champlin Park. And you can tell right now behind me there's a beautiful grandstand. Thanks to generous donations from Champlin Park Baseball Association. We couldn't get this done without them, and obviously our hardworking booster club, and our head coach Ryan Tome as well. We sat down 6-7 years ago. It was actually former baseball coach Corey Davis, myself, a group from Champlin Park Baseball Association, our booster club, and we laid out a 10-year plan for mostly, looking at our baseball and our softball complex and what we could do to help our student athletes here have a better experience, bring us from wooden bleachers in the old days up to something that looks like this behind me, and we're just super excited to get that rolling. Our first major project for both fields was to add lights, and a Twins grant helped us with that, along with our booster club and Champlin Park Baseball Association. So it's a project that continues to develop. I think the next big one is to finish up the grandstand-like area at our softball field, and then maybe some indoor batting cages / storage facility here on the property. As the weather improves, I know my softball coach, my baseball coach with lights, they're looking to play night games, get the community involved, get some more, of our youth athletes out to watch the high school kids. And by having lights, that allows us to have those 6:30 starts, 7 o'clock starts, and gets a little bit more of that community enjoyment. And obviously playing under the lights, it's a special feeling for those kids, and I know the parents like it as well. I think, when people are out on a late night jog or stroll with their kids and the strollers are going by and 7 at night, they might just stop in and watch an inning or two. Maybe in the past, they wouldn't get that opportunity with games being at 4 o'clock, and now you've been able to bring that to the entire community. Definitely even summer baseball. You're looking at VFW, Legion, those areas getting to use this place, maybe host some bigger tournaments now that you have a bigger grandstand and some access to those items. So yeah, we're just looking forward to showcasing it to everybody out there. Going to be fantastic. The boosters are putting in a sound system, so we're going to have, it's going to be like a Major League Baseball game. You can walk up, hear the starting lineup, get names announced, music playing, so we're super excited to showcase our students.
Here is the latest update with the Andover robotics team, the Butler Bots. Following a year of hard work, innovation, and troubleshooting, the Butler Bots are primed to take their skills to future endeavors.
My name is Travis Gross. I am a senior here at Andover High School. Working on a team in robotics here, it's a lot to manage. We have a few different groups of people. I'm a coder, programmer, so I have a few of the new people. I've been teaching them throughout the season how to code. And then we've got people who fabricate stuff mostly. We've got that's
Welcome back to the Andover Athletic Field as we are ready to start the second half of girls high school lacrosse. It's the Huskies Andover with a 9-3 lead. The 3 goals for Maple Grove. One came late with 2 seconds remaining in that first half. 2 goals by Olsen. Ella Olsen, she now has 15 goals on the season. She had the first 2 for Maple Grove. Meanwhile, the third came from Stolp and the assist by Mascatella. Mascatella with the assist, and Isaacson with the first assist for Maple Grove on the goal by Olsen. That's their 3 goals. We're going to get you caught up as well on the Huskies scoring, but the 9 goals were led by Claire Nelson with 4 goals in the first half. Kaiser, who has the ball now in possession, also had a goal and a couple of assists as well in that first half. Lickfield scored a goal along with Lensmeyer, in addition to Delage and Evans. They try to position things here and move it along the far side. The Huskies have had a couple of 6-point leads. And meanwhile, they've even had one that was of 7. It was a 9-2 lead for Andover with 2 seconds left in that first half, and that's when Stolp scored her first goal of the game. Maple Grove now will bring it up. They've been whistled and given that possession here. Thanks for joining us in this QCTV. Joe Rulin on the camera down below. The dual cameras here. Damian Andrzejczyk along with Noel Fitzpatrick. Doing a great job. And meanwhile, Kaiser is back after she had the whistled for the yellow card. We've had 3 yellow cards whistled in that first half. Kaiser's had a little time remaining. There's a hard shot, and I'll tell you, Bach has stood up, and she's been strong in goal. She's had some obstruction in front of her and had to maneuver many times. Some wonderful saves and just plain disrupting some of that momentum for Maple Grove. Here comes Momentum University, and that's Claire Nelson. Nelson, 4 goals and an assist. Looks out front to a teammate, just quite can't connect on that pass. Trying to run it down and picking it up for the Huskies that time was Mihalovic. To the corner, we get a whistle, and they're moving it ahead. Huskies on the far side, very fast, very explosive here this evening. Delich comes back into the game. He has a goal for the Huskies tonight. She also had one against Champlain Park on Wednesday. Kaiser possesses here. Kicks it to Delich. Delich now moves around. Kaiser kind of sets a mini pick there. Kaiser moves down low, and Delich now takes it back behind the net. She's being chased and shadowed there by the Crimson defense. Over the Lickfeld. Picking it up. Lensmeyer now back in as well for the Huskies. There's Kaiser. Moving it. Park moving in. Here comes Evans. Evans looks to hit a cutter. Evans had the first goal of the game for the Huskies tonight. Regaining ground ball possession. Both these teams very good in terms of ground ball possession. The Huskies on the season have won 165 ground balls to 96. Forced turnovers coming into this game. Andover had twice as many turnovers that they faced. Here's on a run, a shot, and a goal. A goal scored for the Huskies. An 8-meter penalty shot there, and the Huskies jump up top to, again, a 7-goal lead. I believe Delich is going to be credited for that goal on that penalty shot. Her 2nd of the game for Merrill Delich. Her 9th of the season. 21-12 remaining here in the second half. And the Huskies continue to play with conviction and confidence here. Maple Grove coming off an impressive win over Totino Grace just last Wednesday. A couple of nights ago, it was a 15-2 win. A busy schedule for both of these teams next week. In fact, both these teams have games on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Evans trying to find an opening. Good move, good quick move that time by Evans to find an open player. Fortunately, rolled off the stick. Unable to control that time was Jaden Wilson, and now here come the Crimson. Olsen with 2 goals of her own in the first half. Finds a teammate, moving it in down low. That's Muscatello who had it. Muscatello looks for it back. She gets it now. Muscatello with an assist on one of the 3 goals for Maple Grove. There's a pass deflected, and I tell you, Eva Ron just right there in the right spot. Bach at the time had it. And quick turnaround on a quick turnover by Andover in their own end, and Bach that time made the save, but unfortunately surrendered it back. We'll take another look here. As you can see from home, and it was a turnover there that they'd like to have back as they did quick outlet pass. But the Crimson capitalize, cash it in, and it remains now back to a 6-goal deficit, 10-4. Moving in, here comes Nelson off the draw at midfield. Little push check there, now into Kaiser. Kaiser, near side of the field, over to Nelson. Easier to call now that the sun has set, and you can see the numbers a little bit better here in the second half. Nelson once again and the Huskies, that's 6-goal lead, 10-4. Nelson takes it deep into the corner. Now reverses field, tries to hit a teammate and a goal. Oh, a beautiful setup. That was some vision downfield and an execution. Nelson, wow, will pick up another assist to go with her 4 goals, but she is distributing those dimes, those perfect passes, and that was another case as the Huskies cash in on that pass. There were a clutter of Huskies just in front of the net. Let's see if we can get the player announcement from Paul Young handling the public address tonight.
Assist awarded to number 23, Claire Nelson.
Nelson picks up the assist and quickly trying to counter the last goal. Here is Olsen. Moves inside. Now along that perimeter. Knocked aside, find the gap and a score. Maple Grove counters. Well, I think Andover will probably be happy exchanging a 7-goal lead for a 6-goal lead, but I'm sure Brad Geis would like to see that defense step up a little bit more and not allow them to counter so quickly. So that's an 11-5 lead. Thinnis is in the game now. Addison Thinnis for Andover. We are waiting to get finalized on who will get credit for that last goal for Maple Grove. Controlled here, whistle, and Maple Grove, no, it'll be Andover. Andover sets up. Gets it going. There's Evans. Looking at now, reversing, now coming back to the near side of the field. A hard run here by Delage. She has 2 goals already tonight for Andover. Andover with that 11-5 lead, 18 and change to go here in this second half. Whistled right off, and now coming back on the transition of Crimson. Full head of steam. Burst there, tries to feed it inside to a teammate and unable to hit the cutter. And now they reset, send behind to the X position. That's Olsen. Imbalai spin move. She's well contained there by the Huskies, denying her any entrance closer than where she currently was. Again behind the net is Olsen, and approaching 17 minutes remaining. She tries a reverse spin move to try to get positioned inside, and Crimson will be awarded the ball. And now set here, so she will have her move back before she can begin that pass. We're at about 16:30 remaining by the time they get that pass back in. Control now is Crimson here at the side, the near side. Down by 6 goals, 11-5, Maple Grove trying to find a series of unanswered goals is what they'll need here in the second half. They have been down a couple of times by 7 goals in the first half and here in the second half. Moving it up around the perimeter, now trying to find a teammate to drop it to. Olsen tries to go back in down low around the 8. Kicking it back, even more so now. A quick spin move. Crimson almost looked like they're looking for that perfect pass inside. Now they'll try to make a quick burst move, but it's denied there. Good job by the defense on a quick pass behind. Gathered in, but then disrupted and turned over. A good play by the defense. And now a pass that's given up right on the doorstep, trying to cash it in. Crimson, they were getting ready to take the shot, then lost possession. Now picked it up on a ground ball, and now Andover has it back. Lickfeld picks it up, steers her way through a couple of the Crimson players. Moving towards midfield and now beyond on the far side of the field, still on a run. Lickfield, after picking up the ground ball deep in the Andover end, this is it down low to Kaiser. Sarah Kaiser sets it up. She gets nudges and the ball dropped off on a person. She gathers it right back again. What energy. Never gives up. She's back down to Kaiser. Delich now takes it, reverses locations there with Kaiser. Delich being shadowed by the defense. Specifically there by number 4 and Paige Allen. There are just 2 seniors on this Crimson squad. Series of freshmen and sophomores, including the second leading scorer for the Crimson, and that is Sosie Van Wyck. 17 points. Olsen leads the squad in both goals and assists. She has 2 tonight as well. Takes her total to 15. Huskies trying to maneuver around. There's Nelson. Huskies in no rush as she's pushed to the turf. I thought we might get a whistle there, but now the Crimson pick up the loose ball on the ground and picks it and takes it, walks all the way down to the far side, back into the cradle there of Olsen. Olsen sends it wide, dishes it down low and disrupted, and oh my, a nice save. Bach right in the perfect location as she anticipated that catch and release shot. Down below Evans. Evans kicks it. They're controlled by Lizzie Schruby. Schruby up high. Lickfeld, long reach, picks it up over to Kaiser in the middle. Now she brings it out, and we have a whistle. A whistle, and Kaiser is going to get a run here on a penalty shot. 8-meter penalty shot. She goes low. A save is made. Good idea by Kaiser. Even a better save made that time by Emma Carter. Long outlet pass, just too far, and Andover will regain possession. We are just beyond the midway mark here of the second half. Crimson try to bracket the Huskies as they bring it back upfield, and they sprint through that bracket. I believe that's Delich. She circles back up near midfield. Again, time is on their side, as is the lead for the Huskies. Nice run coming here, back up, storming it down the field. Having the control is Isabel Mika. She drops it to Claire Nelson. Nelson now takes it to the corner, now back behind the net. Her speed, she can go from 0 to 60 in a hiccup. Fakes left, fakes right. I just blew out my ACL watching her. And now she's back again on the side trying to pick up goal number 5. 4 first half goals for Nelson. Back behind the Huskies, pick up the loose change. Huskies being chased by a couple of the Crimson defenders. Now along the perimeter. As a ground ball picked up by Delich on the misfire. Sends it down low. Kaiser's moving in. Shot. And a save is made. Denied. Stymied there. Nice save once again on the second consecutive good scoring opportunity for Kaiser made by Emma Crater. Quickly on the transition. Moving down. Trying to get behind the defense. Denied at the last minute. That was Muscatello. Whistled down on the side. We're going to get a possession going back to the Huskies. 10.5 to go, and I'll tell you, Andover has come out here with a mission. You can kind of tell they've not quite the frequency of shots. Once they get a possession, they're more interested in minutes off that clock at this point and probably trying to run something up. Lensmeyer comes back in. She has a goal tonight. For Lensmeyer, that was goal number 9 on the season. Working down low now, far side. Defense trying to maneuver their way out of their own end. A whistle here. We had 3 yellow cards issued in that first half. 2 to the Crimson, 1 to Andover, none here thus far in the second half, as we are in single digits remaining in the second half. 9:30 remaining, and the Huskies maintain a 6-goal lead at 11-5. Opportunity here on the loose ball picked up by Eva Bach. Bach tries to get the outlet pass. Nice job. Way to come back for that ball. Get nudged and finally picked out a whistle, and the foul is called there on the Crimson. Miko now will work it up. She hustled her way up and then got knocked to the ground, but here comes the Crimson on a break. Scoring opportunity, no one in behind. Shot and a save is made by Bach. Bach stymies the Crimson once again here tonight. 8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in this contest. Oh, to Nelson. Nelson will pick up the roller on the ground ball. Nelson leads the squad in many, many categories, not only points. She'll add 5 to that total. Here's a shot attempt there, loose. And finally picking up that ball and moving it up out. Good outlet pass that time by Crater up ahead. To a Crimson teammate. Dropping it down below, and Evans comes back to help out as well for Andover. Faking the pass, now trying to move on a quick burst move around. Now trying to come from behind the net is Crimson. 7.5 to go here in this third period. Coming up for the Huskies, their next games will include a game with at Anoka on May 9th. On the 9th of Anoka, the 9th of May, they'll be playing Anoka, followed by Rogers on the 11th, and then they're at Robbinsdale Armstrong. 3 road games next week for Andover. Their season, by the way, will end on the game against Osseo Park Center. That's quickly arriving on May 25th. Nice save again, secured. A beautiful outlet pass by Bach. Up ahead here. to Lensmeyer, and then Lensmeyer tries to get it cross field over to a teammate there. Might have been Eldine and unable to connect. A 6-goal lead for the Huskies. They look to be en route to their 7th win of the season. 6.5 remaining here in the second half. A spark move here and trying to find an alley to take the shot, denied. But there is a whistle here, and it will be an 8-meter penalty shot here for the Crimson. Moving in, shot goes low, but now I think they're going to give her another opportunity as a call another foul here on Andover. Getting another run on this 8-millimeter penalty shot for the Crimson. Under 6 to go. Stops, fires. This one went over the top of the net. She was going to make a burst move inside, but a quick pivot step, and then it went over the top. Crimson remain with the possession here. Spinning around, bouncing off defenders, trying to pull the trigger here, and it's again in possession for the Crimson. 5:20 to go in the second half. Making their way up. And another penalty shot here. Shot denied once again. I'll tell you, Bach has been a gem tonight in goal. Eva Bach. She has a shutout and then combined with another teammate as well on that shutout against Blaine. She played just a half in that game. Time still continuing to run here, and officials getting everyone set. Approaching 4 minutes remaining, and now the officials get everyone set one more time before they initiate play. 8-meter run from the side here on this penalty shot. Trying to cut back in front, denied once again by Bach. Eva Bach. Has played extremely well. Just a couple of flaws maybe on those outlet passes, but certainly making some stellar saves. Not allowing the Crimson to get any momentum at all. Delich continues with it here. Drops it down to Kaiser. Kaiser just past Lickfield. Kaiser makes a push. Comes back from behind the net, and she's sealed off by the Crimson defense there. 3:20 to go. Back in. Nelson. Tries to send a pass. Trying to climb the ladder and bring that down. Unable to do so that time was Engler. Maya Engler. And now here comes Crimson one more time. They've had a couple of breakaways. Here's one in top for Olsen. Turns, fires, tries to tuck that one under the garage door, and a save made again by Bach. Bach has been a brick wall back there tonight. This is a Maple Grove squad that has put up 74 goals on the season coming into tonight, adding to 5. She's at 79. Here's her run. A chance here. Andover. And Truby. Truby is bracketed. She casually puts a nice backhand pass there to her teammate, Kaiser. She has got to be beat. She's been on some serious runs. Hard cuts. Turns, fires, goal! Oh, with a defender on her. Lickfeld snaps one off and puts it under the stick of Crater. Lickfeld with her second goal of the game. kind of a nonchalant snap this thing off with 2:17 to go. Lickfield, their second goal of the game, and the Huskies have now matched their biggest lead of the game at 12-5. Kaiser will probably call it a night. Goal and a few assists. Delage the same. Crouch down. A good effort. Couple of goals for Delage as well. Nelson, of course, with her 4 goals. And a couple of dimes as well. Face-off to take place here, right at center field, and midfield toss high in the air. Looks like Evans had it momentarily, and now Nelson is knocked to the turf. Knocked to the turf by Olsen. Of course, Nelson on her way to the University of Michigan to play for the Wolverines. She is the first Andover Lacrosse girls player to play at that D1 level, and that's a program. Inside, trying to tuck it underneath and a save, and that's turned away. Shrewby almost with a goal there. Maple Grove making a run. Late in this game, 90 seconds remaining. The Huskies will move to a mark of 7-1. And again, they take on Anoka on Monday night in Anoka. Huskies also have 2 additional games on Wednesday and Friday, in which they'll play at Rogers and then at Robbinsdale Armstrong. That Robbinsdale Armstrong team, that can be a physical battle. Stoppage of play here. This will be an 8-meter penalty shot for the Crimson. Hard shot, and what's new? Turned away. Save? Nope. They're going to give the goal. The Crimson, Eva had it momentarily. It looks like she had control of it, but it may have bounced off of that stick and rolled across the line just behind her. So, this is funny. This is interesting because I'm talking to Coach Brad, guys. This guy just knows the game so well. He's like, Joe, here's what I would like for a game. And I kid you not, because I had written it down when I was on the field talking to him. He said, if things would go my way, ideally, I'd like to see us, I could see, if we're playing a good game and playing a sharp game, running, passing, accelerating, that would mean the score would be something like 12-6. I kid you not. He shared that with me before the game, and I wrote it down just at the start. He said, if it's not going as well, then it's a tighter score, like maybe 8-6, something along that line. But he called it. I'll tell you, Vegas is probably going to want to tap into that source. But I kid you not, Brad Geis, very methodical. Said, if it looked good for us, what I really like to see, if we're playing well, we're moving well, it would be 12-6. But now they've ruined that as the Huskies, as they just scored their 13th goal. Lensmeyer on the pass from Nelson. Nelson with a few assists to go along with their 4 goals, and the Huskies have now collected a 7-goal lead one more time with 33 seconds remaining. 13-6 to lead here for Andover and Lensmeyer. Second goal of the game, her 10th of the season. Well, now Coach Brad Geis is 1 goal off. He wasn't predicting, mind you, but he was saying if we hit our game on all cylinders, if we can play well enough and if we can come out with some juice and move the ball, that would be the score I would like to see. I could see us doing that, and bam. Impressive vision by the coach for the Andover Huskies. Coach Brad Geis, and this is Sarah Kaiser running in that corner, back around again, reversing. And that is a final. The Huskies collect their third straight win. This one a 13-6 win over a Maple Grove squad over the Crimson. The Huskies, a convincing evening and impressive goal scoring, and they get it from 6 different goal scorers on the night as well, and a bunch of assists as well by Kaiser along with Nelson. Congratulations. The Andover Huskies, a big win tonight here at Andover Athletic Field in girls high school lacrosse. A 13-6 win for the Huskies, and they will play next on Monday night at Anoka. I'm Joe Rulin, along with the staff here at QCTV. Thanks for joining us. On the cameras, it's been Damian Andrzejak along with Noel Fitzpatrick. Back in the studio, Ryan Mush along with Mike Bouchard, and also Andy Zacharias. And thank you for the whole QCTV. Thanks for joining us. And again, a 13-6 win for the Andover girls over the Crimson of Maple Grove. Have yourself a major league evening at a minor league price.